For once, you're right about the whole plan thing.
Oh,
we're live! We're back!
Holy shit, he's back!
He's back!
He's back!
Which Evan can say about every single one of us.
He's back!
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 77 of My Cup of Tea. It's just getting more and more ridiculous in the industry, man. It's not looking... I'm not happy, Bob. We're not happy. Evan, what's up?
What's up? I'm so happy to be back. It feels like forever. For the first time in forever. That we're doing this My Cup of Tea. It's a Frozen reference.
I was going to say a different film, like... Oh, look, Tangled. Just to keep on your toes.
Same universe. No. Yeah, this has been a crazy past couple of days. Like, we were already going to do an episode this week, like, about last week's news. A pretty slow news week. Until WB decided to say, hold my beer and just fuck up the whole Hollywood industry in one night with the whole Batgirl cancellation. HBO Max, my favorite streaming service, is in danger. I have no idea what's going on. I have parents and friends texting me, what's going on? I got a lot of things to say. We got a lot of things to say. And I can't wait to talk about it. And we got an Avengers KANG Dynasty director announcement that we didn't get a chance to talk about last week. And I'm super ecstatic about it because it's Shang-Chi related, so that's fun. But yeah, I cannot wait.
We'll always have Paramount Plus.
Do we even have Paramount Plus?
I'm using it right now. I'm watching live feeds.
See, now you can't say shit about me playing Spider-Man.
That's different.
They cut our funding for a week. We got taken off the air. Checks didn't clear, but we're happy to be back.
I had to keep changing the set time on the Alien 3. Like I said, to private. I didn't want to redo the info, so I just keep pushing
creative differences.
That's amazing.
Tony Gilroy came in, sorted us out. Everything's fine now.
Praise coming this week.
Yeah, praise coming this week.
Modern content,
but we got a lot of news to talk about and rants and. I don't know. The list goes on. I was skimming our podcast notes and I'm like, oh my god, I either forgot about half of this shit because it was from last week or it was just happened yesterday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we got a lot to talk about.
Yes, I'm paying attention.
Oh boy.
Yes, I host him.
Me, don't tell Josh.
Where do we fucking begin? Okay, so
I'm crying, I think.
War.
War. Hollywood.
It's funny. Nathan DM'd us. Was it 2 years ago that we were talking about? I guess it's a good lead-in. 2 years ago, we were talking about Warner Brothers, HBO Max, doing the.
We were like, do we go live? We were all just happened to be free. We were like, this is big fucking news. So we all shot up wow, HBO Max, the forefront of 2021 schedule for theatricals.
How many episodes ago was that? Do you know what number that was? What episode number that was?
God.
But because that had to be 2020 because we were talking about 2021.
Yeah, that was November 2020.
Did that count it as an episode? I hope so.
Or October 2020. I don't know which.
Wow.
Because that started with Wonder Woman, right? As the day and date.
Yeah, we were talking about the upcoming Wonder Woman. So
it was well over a year ago.
Holy shit.
This was episode number 20.
Number 20? Yeah.
We're on 77.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you a thing that happened.
Hours.
That's amazing. I love it.
We have to have a straight week's worth of fucking footage to comb through from then to now.
Yeah, I can't wait for episode 100. But yeah, so that was under Jason Kilar. I think that's his last name. Kyler. And we had our criticisms of it because, we love things going to the theater. But at least for that one, we had our pros and cons at least. We were like, okay, so they're at least coming to the theater. I wish the window was changing. That was the big thing back then, the release window. Hollywood's changing, the release window. What are we going to do? Now
it's sort of back to 45 days.
Now 45 days is fine, right? 45 days was it started with Universal.
Well, because it came to mutually beneficial relationship. They're like, oh, that actually helps us in the long run.
Exactly.
And then there was 90 days.
It was 90 days. But then we look at that, like the charts and everything, and 45 days is plenty of time to recoup box office, etc. And of course, Kyler was like obsessed with the whole streaming, right? Like he was obsessed with HBO Max and streaming. Funded a lot of HBO Max originals.
And don't forget, the whole rationale was, I mean, first of all, they were starting HBO Max back then, so
exactly, yeah,
that's when it just launched.
Mm-hmm.
The goal was to get people on the service with these big titles as, you know, the big front door where people are like, oh, this is going to be on HBO Max. And then once they see that movie, then you fund a bunch of the HBO Max originals and people stick around in between releases for, you know, whether it's Harley Quinn or what are some of the
like what we have coming up in a few weeks, House of the Dragon. That was a big thing that was starting.
Right, like all so like just a slate of, well, it gets confusing because HBO, it's like HBO and I saw a tweet today.
Yeah, HBO and HBO Max.
HBO Max originals.
But like HBO Max is still like the main thing that's like running like
right.
House of the Dragon, even though it is an HBO thing, but they're so merged now. It kind of gets murky. But yeah, and like I had my issues with it, but HBO Max has become one of the best over the last 2 years. One of the best streaming services with its back catalog.
They still have the best catalog for sure.
The back catalog is great.
The most stuff pre-2000 of any streaming service, really, unless you go to like a Criterion or Mubi or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of HBO was that just notoriously they were known as the studio or the channel prior to HBO Max even that didn't cancel a lot of things. Like you're going to get your 6 seasons of Sopranos. You're going to get your 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. You're going to get now that we have 4 seasons of Barry, right? Yeah. So it's like they hardly cancel stuff. And this is even back in 2020, we knew Netflix was the one that always canceled shit. And they're still doing it. I'm sorry. I hate that First Kill has got canceled. I hate that. But this whole WB thing.
No, Leslie just tweeted.
Oh no!
What? Okay. Live.
Live breaking news. Breaking news.
Am I gonna cry right now?
Fuck me. Do you put it up on the screen?
Yeah, I guess I could.
Let's do that. Let's share a screen.
Carson gets no rest once he's back. Oh no!
Carson, make yourself useful. Kansas' own.
I suppose she legally had to put a filter over it for legal reasons.
Okay, well, now my computer is not letting me.
But yeah, why you guys...
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Boom.
There we go.
Ah.
7 months.
On the heels of the recent news about our movie Batgirl, I am proud of the love, hard work, and intention all of our incredible cast and tireless crew put into this film over 7 months in Scotland. Man.
That's just more.
There's more? Can I scroll down?
There's a reply.
Oh boy. I feel blessed.
Is that like your first time putting it on? No.
Oh man, this is depressing. Oh Jesus, this sucks. I feel blessed to have worked among absolute greats and forged relationships for a lifetime in the process. To every Batgirl fan, thank you for the love and belief allowing me to take on the cape and become, as Bav said best, my own damn hero. Hashtag Batgirl for life. Oh man, this is depressing. As she puts on the cape and cow and suit. Man.
I'm never gonna emotionally recover from this.
This is unprecedented. We'll get to it, but yeah, this is...
No, I'm just sad. I can't watch.
Man. Jeez. Yeah, so the big news today is that this week, Batgirl is canceled as new leadership, as of a couple of months ago, Warner Brothers is merging with Discovery. And with that became new leadership in the form of
David Zaslav, yeah.
David Zaslav, who replaced Jason Kilar, fired, and I forget her last name. Head of programming and Dow's? I forget, whatever. But yeah, so he's in charge now. He used to be the former head of Discovery. Now he's in charge of Warner Brothers and Discovery and the whole merger process. And with him, business is his priority. We're getting executives now who are less interested in the art and more interested in the business side of things, the economics of it all.
The consolidation. We need to save $3 billion because they're all in debt. That's the issue.
Exactly. Which is just very depressing.
Ben, my man.
Yeah, WB for Lives, please sponsor us. No, fuck you. God. This is awful. Man, yeah, this is depressing. Batgirl was one of the most anticipated projects, not only for DC, but of just next year in general. Every time I would watch Miss Marvel, I'd whisper to Jalen, like, and you guys, like, man, if this is what we're getting for Miss Marvel, what do you think we're going to get in a feature film with Leslie Grace, Brendan Fraser, Christina Hodgson writing the script?
Michael Keaton.
I'm like, Michael Keaton. The whole cast and crew, from the writers, directors, the cast. I was excited for this whole movie. Even if it wasn't going to be theatrical, I kept saying it should be theatrical, but if it wasn't, I wouldn't care. It's an HBO Max movie. I would get to watch it regardless. That's what it comes down to, right? Like, we don't get to watch this fucking movie because we don't get to see it at all. We don't get to see anything. It just canned completely, which is ridiculous to me.
But it's already done.
It's already done. I mean, it just needs to be edited, but that's about it.
It sucks because, like, we were just talking before the pod in terms of, like, Leslie's career. Like, obviously, like, I wish In the Heights performed way better than it did because it deserves it. But, you know, we at least, for the love of God, still got to see it and enjoy it and experience it. And now this is just scrapped and it's basically done.
It's scrapped and done. And I was, when it first got out from the New York Post, I was like, this is a joke. There's no way a whole movie.
Like, this is tabloid bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's explain the BS too. So
let's go. Let's get
basically the BS with a lot of these projects that are, I guess, on the bubble with being done.
Yes.
Or they can because there's some flexibility when you merge with two giant companies, and you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with those assets because they're not in our strategic vision. Blah blah blah. So apparently, you can use that to take tax write-offs. I don't know what the technical term is for what you would even call that.
Tax write-off.
It's some merger stipulation that allows them to do it. So they looked at this movie, was almost done. Scoob sequel was almost done. Which was like a $40 million movie, so that's $130 million right there. And then the other thing too is, like, I don't know. Like, I tweeted a thread yesterday. I was like, the precedent they're setting of, like, this is neither small enough for streaming nor event enough for theatrical is just a bamboozling take, because first of all, like,
let's get into
budget doesn't set something is theatrical. And I hate that the pandemic accelerated that it's like, oh, it only can be a $200 million going to theaters now because we're not interested in making $50 million on a movie. We have to, like, make $1 billion grosser, and that's the only thing that makes theaters worth it, which is just not true at all. And not to mention, even within DC themselves, Shazam 1, its budget was $85 million, and it 4x'd its budget in theaters.
I mean,
in theaters,
and that's ridiculous, right? Like, the whole budget equates to theatrical experience is just ludicrous to me. The horror genre, in of itself, rebukes that.
Look at even this year, everything everywhere all at once, $15 million movie.
That's a theatrical experience.
My favorite theater experience of this year by far.
By far, yeah, and that's an indie movie that, like, really overperformed as it should. And then
so I refute this whole thing of, like, oh, like, we were considering to go spend another $20 million and then another $50 million in marketing. I'm like, you shouldn't have to decide if a movie's theatrical based on having to go spend $20 million more dollars after it's already been shot to, like, make sure that, oh, now it's theatrical because we spent an extra $20 million on VFX or reshoots or whatever. That's just so stupid.
Exactly, and the big point that a lot of articles are saying that the budget started at what 70 million,
70, yeah,
and then it ballooned because of COVID protocols and etc. to about $90 million, and then that at $90 million, and it's still in the unfinished kind of near the finishing line phase, they would have to put more marketing budget into it, etc. And they deemed that to be too much for a streaming venue, but like Carson said, too little for a theatrical event.
Makes no sense. And it's like, why can't you drop it on it? And I know exactly what they're saying. They're like, well, it's going to tarnish the event status of other DC movies. Okay, fuck off with that, because that's just stupid. That
when's your next DC movie?
I mean,
that's a good point. Yeah,
the whole point of all of this, and the last year I've definitely praised DC's whole fuck it, we're gonna have 3 Batmans, we're gonna go explore Supergirl, Batgirl, we're gonna do new characters, and we're gonna if we introduce them on streaming, then they can rise into theatrical and ebbs and flows in between the two mediums, and some can have shows like Katana or different things, like just using everything to their advantage instead of chasing their tail like they did for 6 years after Man of Steel, trying to catch up to Marvel, and then we all know what that led to with Justice League.
Yeah.
So I was like, this strategy is great, and then to just be like, okay, we're never gonna take a risk again, and we're also gonna not make Superman movies, and also mid-budget superhero movies can't exist, even though they'd probably look better than the average Marvel movie.
Yeah,
it's just so disgusting to me.
Every
there's no
DC
other words.
movie needs to be a theatrical event. Everyone, what are you talking about?
Did y'all fucking made Joker? That was pretty its own small thing that just happened to blow up.
And it's so ironic. It's so ironic that Zaslav praises the shit out of it. We've seen so many articles of oh my god, Todd Phillips is a genius for his efficiency. Fuck off. We've had so many other Birds of Prey, Shazam. We have so many other examples that for you to single out Todd Phillips,
it's so weird.
The white director, and you're cutting all of these other people of color projects. So, and then there's also an article going around that he basically, I can't remember. There was a Anne something who was one of the heads in Warner Media.
She was in charge of programming.
Just his whole inner circle now is all old white guys. Essentially, he just gutted it.
It's like, what is this, Congress? It's crazy.
For real. And it's just frustrating because it's like, even with this PR crisis, they don't care. He doesn't see it, which is just so
it would be just
it would be hilarious if it wasn't, is what I'm trying to say.
This would just be the easiest marketing for HBO Max. Even if you don't want to pay for billboards and shit, you can easily just drop a trailer with Keaton in the thumbnail. It's not that hard. You can have a banner on your already HBO Max streaming service. You already run the 30-second TV spot ads for some stuff in front of HBO Max sometimes for something that plays. You can have a little something there. A fucking YouTube ad you can pay so easily. A promoted tweet is so fucking easy to pay and cheap, frankly, for you.
Or just have videos of the stars themselves, they're under contract to promote the movie. It's not that fucking difficult.
And they clearly care about it, so they would. It's so easy.
It makes no sense.
You might have to throw a premiere, God forbid.
No. But that's why people are so worried about other movies besides Batgirl. Because just earlier today, we had Supergirl getting canceled, which I forgot was in development, but I was excited for it. Because Sasha Calle, excited to see her.
Well, that was the whole thing, is she was going to come out of the Flash and kind of be the star character other than Barry, and then.
How does happen to both Keaton appearance projects?
And then I read another thing today that Keaton had a scene in Aquaman, the new Aquaman, and then test audiences were confused, and so because then Momoa confirmed that Batflick is back, so
Right.
they just swapped out Batman's there.
I think because Aquaman was supposed to come out after Flash.
Right. No,
Right.
because it's before now.
Now it's before, exactly. That's why.
But that wasn't always like that.
Okay,
That wasn't
got
always
you.
like that.
Yeah, so that happened.
And Batgirl was also supposed to be after Flash, wasn't it?
Exactly.
So now we have potentially in a world where, because Batgirl could have easily been Keaton's first time back.
Yeah.
If it dropped like we thought it was.
Flash.
No, just even like a week ago, if we thought Batgirl was still going to drop by the end of the year.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it
So-
always did say 2022, which is weird.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would have led off like because then he's in.
Yeah.
Uh,
But the whole thing, the audiences were confused, makes no sense to me. Audiences don't care. It doesn't matter.
You can't
Like,
tell- with how
also,
much,
this
like,
whole thing of like, oh, it tested in the low 60s. Like, who
Oh, yeah,
fucking
let's
cares,
talk about
dude?
that. That's ridiculous. The whole test audiences said the costume looked cheap, or the look of it looked very cheap and ugly, and it didn't really look well, and it tested very badly.
Which
Like,
it's
F off.
which
Also,
is
where
so
did you-
ridiculous to gauge that and say, oh, that's not going to blend well with our
And-
prestige content on this new
What's
Discovery.
prestige?
What the
And
fuck
what-
does that even
and-
mean? And you're
and-
going to have
and
all
what
this
was
garbage
the-
from Discovery put together on whatever this new streaming service. We're going to find out tomorrow what it's called.
and was that just like one test screening in like
Yes,
one,
it tested
one,
once.
one location?
Test
Once.
One location of one group of people?
So exactly, Nathan. So everybody's saying like, "Well, I heard from a source. I heard from a source." There's one test screening, and then from an individual or
One
multiple
person.
individuals, whoever saw the test screening, they have different people having different opinions.
But
Guess
also,
what,
a bunch
guys?
of
It's a
creatives had
movie.
seen early cuts and other things and loved
Exactly.
it.
So
And
it's a movie, so you can get multiple opinions. That's the whole thing. Like, it doesn't matter what
There's-
test audiences say.
There's been like such like a long like frame of like test audiences like not knowing what the fuck they're looking at, man. Because like
Yeah.
even going as far back as like the OG Blade Runner, which was Ridley Scott's cut,
Mhm.
that is like the most infamous one you buy now, the final cut. But back then, people were like, "Oh, I don't understand. Oh, the
Right.
studio's scared," and then they made that like choppy, lazily narrated Harrison Ford
Well,
cut.
Which it's like obviously test audiences are important to any movie,
Of
like,
course.
but at the same time, they're not the Bible for you ripping someone's art apart. There should be like rudders. They shouldn't be like the
Yes.
whole meal. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't just be like, oh,
It's so-
they spoken like.
It's pretty bad because like I mean I didn't want like Batgirl to end up in like a Justice League situation of just like overhauling a big change, but I also like I mean fuck, at least like if it did go through something like that, I could still see like Leslie's work and performance and shit.
Exactly, right? Like, test audiences are there so people can give their criticisms. That's why you continue editing it. The directors were going back to edit after this wedding where they found out that it got canceled. Like, there was still work to be done. It was near completion, but you take what they get from the test audiences.
I guarantee
and you
they
finish your
didn't even
film.
watch it. I guarantee they didn't even watch it. The new executives.
Probably not. It's just what test audiences said. But yeah, exactly. Like, test audiences shouldn't be the final word on it. So people saying, well, if it was bad or if it was good, then this probably wouldn't have happened. If it was bad, now I can see why. Now it's understandable. No, it still makes no sense. Test audiences don't say anything. And again, like the Hollywood Reporter was saying, this scored in the low 60s, similar to It 2017, similar
Right.
to Shazam Fury of the Gods. and
Have
the
some
first
fucking
Shazam.
confidence
Have
in
some
your
confidence
shit.
in taking what test audiences say, fixing your final product, and then releasing the movie
And
the way
making
the
$700
directors-
million. Like Jesus.
and
it's
make
not-
your money there. It's like it's crazy that people aren't even having this in the conversation. It shouldn't even be in the conversation. The idea of test audiences. It
Yeah.
shouldn't even be in the conversation that test audiences say this, so that's why it's understandable. That's why this
It's not
makes certain sense.
understandable whatsoever.
Exactly. Like, we shouldn't gauge test audiences to say like, oh, this is why movies should die. We still want to see art. We still want to see like final product. Like, art shouldn't be subjected to, or seeing art shouldn't be subjected
Well, it's just
to test
scary because
audiences.
now I'm just like,
It's
so
ridiculous.
we get this new streaming service, and at will, we've already seen all of a bunch of the HBO Max original movies that have come out. Granted, a lot of them haven't been very good, but that shouldn't matter. Like, they should still
It
remain
shouldn't
on the
matter.
service. You know
How
what I
many
mean?
things in Hollywood are actually great, right? Like I mean, that's why we go see movies, because you get the great movies, you get the good movies, you get the mid, you get the bad. It's just like art. You get everything. So the idea that we shouldn't release it because the quality is already a bad thing. But the whole thing about this whole ideal is that it's not based on creative. It's not based on quality. It's based on business. The whole idea here is that they're canceling this not because of what test audiences say or what they've seen. It's just taxes and money.
It just worries me.
Worse.
It worries me about like library titles, because
yes,
who's to say they're like, oh, these aren't getting, or these are getting good views. Let's take it off, starve the demand, and charge people to only get it elsewhere, because we know we can get more money that way than just getting them on HBO Max, because we can just, you know what I mean? Like,
I didn't think
there's totally fuckery with that they can fuck with demand and existing subscribers, and looking at the data and saying, oh, what if we just take that off and see if people are rerouted elsewhere and we get more money from what I mean Disney's done this notoriously with vault titles, and
and Disney had a similar thing, not to this drastic degree, but with the whole Fox and Fox Searchlight, that whole merger, Fox films have decreased dramatically down to like 4 to 5 movies a year. Like I think we're only getting like 5 Fox movies this year, if that. But anyways, at least we're seeing them, right? Decreased as they may be, we still get to see stuff like the upcoming detective movie with Saoirse Ronan.
Which is just,
it
frustrates me too that there's a severe shortage of just the number of movies releasing this year in theaters, because people, the studios and these their parent companies are scared to release anything that's under $10 million. Between $10 million and $200 million, people are scared to release movies in that range, which is just ridiculous. It should be a majority of the movies should be in that, in that mid-budget range, and then you have your horror hits that's below 10 million, and then you have your big block. Like, there just needs to be more of a range, and then that's how franchises and popular conversation around stuff is made, is from when something jumps from that $50 million movie, and all of a sudden people are talking about it, and then you make way more money on that because you took the risk on it.
That's always been a big issue.
It makes me think of like back in like, it must be a dying era now, but like the whole idea of like a cult classic for something that isn't performing like great at like the time, but then like people discover it and it gains popularity. And sometimes it gains popularity so much so the studio's like, hey, let's make another one. They like it now. Let's go.
Exactly. That's been happening for a while now in terms of the streaming and the death of the mid-budget movie.
You figured like streaming would be the new age, because like the best example I remember is like the first Austin Powers movie came out. It didn't perform great, but like then it came out on video and the rental sales were just like through the roof. And then that's what actually gave it its sequel.
When it's like, for them to say that, okay, now we have this advent of streaming, so mid-budget titles don't need to go to theaters because they're not events, but also we've deemed them too expensive for our own service. What kind of fuckery is that?
That's the worst part of it all, because going back to the conversation,
from one of the biggest franchises in the entire world,
and it's
with a bat logo on her.
Exactly. And that's the weird thing, right? Like, streaming gave the mid-budget movies a home, even though that's kind of like dissipating with Netflix focusing on good stuff. But still, at least we're getting some kind of rom-coms, some kind of horror, some of those mid-budget genres on streaming.
Some genre risks that probably
Amazon
wouldn't
Prime,
see in theaters.
Amazon Prime, Netflix. I watched a lot of rom-coms this year from Amazon Prime and from Netflix. And it sucks that some of those companies are prioritizing bigger blockbusters like Netflix, but at least like stuff like HBO was giving us some of that. Just like the one that got canceled just today, the Cole Sprouse and Lana Condor rom-com in space, Moonshot, mid $30, $40, $50 rom-com, went straight to HBO Max, and now it's gone. I'm like, wait,
like 2 months ago. 2 months ago.
How? I mean, that's just sick too. It's just like somebody put their hard work into making an HBO Max original movie, and now that's gone too. But hey, at least we can buy it on Apple TV for $20.
It's
what?
which I wouldn't even like have thought of like unless I'm scrolling the libraries there.
Nobody's thinking that.
It's
Not to
such a
mention
scary
you're
thought.
confusing your existing subscribers. By the way, you're already gonna confuse them tomorrow when you announce this ultra fuck service.
We'll see what happens.
Plus,
it's such like scary Hollywood omnipotence that they could just like a couple clicks gone forever.
Right, you just take it off the server, and it's
exactly.
Just it's like they're so short term about like, oh, we need a Stranger Things, guys. Otherwise, we just need the next big thing.
I don't even think HBO even wants that. Yeah, because
at the same time, it's like you're throwing away 98% of your focus on what keeps people on the service in the long term is having a constant flow of just a variety of stuff. And then they're like, no, we can't have a variety. We just have to do. And they're like, they're like, oh, we didn't do good in kids live action content, so we're not gonna do that. And it's just like,
that's what makes this so weird, right? Like HBO Max is a streaming service. This is the era of streaming services, and you're gutting a streaming service. Like why? Like you have your Game of Thrones. Next year you'll have your Last of Us. After that you'll have your other big HBO, not Max.
But those are from a few weeks a year. You need your stuff to stick around.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like you made this thing, and you're just like. You put the effort in it, you released it, it's there, cool, people can discover it, but then you just take it out, like just take it out of the forefront of like your algorithm's push, like just leave the title.
And this is weird because granted it gets murky because I'm gonna be talking about HBO and HBO Max, but guess what got the most awards nominations this year alone? HBO
Max.
because of stuff like Succession, White Lotus, other big shows, and some of them are HBO, some of them HBO Max, right? But it's just like this whole HBO Max is a very successful streaming service based on accolades alone, and plus viewership because of the back catalog, with your anime and your new live action content.
Our commentaries, we watch so many, just like, oh, we're put on Jurassic.
So many are on HBO Max, exactly. And to think that you're going to be gutting, and just today we found out they're gutting scripted more so than unscripted television. Like, who's watching your reality TV on HBO Max? Stop it. Like in your
that's Paramount Plus.
You're gutting your scripted television, which is successful.
That's like
stuff
literally what you're known for.
Harley Quinn, like Peacemaker, those are staying, of course. But it's just like maybe actually, like Young Justice has already been a murky show on the water.
Just focusing on like the HBO originals, just like going up like as far back as like let's say like fucking like The Wire and fucking True Blood and all. Like that's all scripted.
That's all scripted.
Come on now.
The fact that we're making
they're literally just bitter stuff because a different era of executives ushered that in.
Yes.
And they're like, well, that doesn't represent us. Okay, fuckers. Like
HBO Max had great kid content, great adult content, and again, that's HBO Max. They had a lot of great kids and Scooby Doo type of stuff on HBO Max. And whenever I had my little cousins over, we would go on HBO Max and watch some of the kid stuff there because everything was nicely organized. Like it's a great streaming service. But now that they're cutting certain content from across the board, I'm like, what are you guys fighting for?
Like, what's your end game? Like,
what's your end game? Because you want to prioritize theatrical event, then first of all, your definition of theatrical makes no sense because Joker 2 is coming, guys. Joker 2 wouldn't have happened under this regime at all, or the first Joker wouldn't have happened.
But it's so funny because it's just like the fact that it's all like going to be a musical. I'm like, yeah, maybe you can go big with it, but also you released In the Heights, God damn it, and how did that go? As much as I wanted it to go good,
it's just it's baffling to me. And again, going back to the whole premise here, Batgirl, the fact that they went against Batgirl again, this is a Bat family character, which is arguably way more famous than your upcoming theatrical movie, luckily Blue Beetle, which seemingly seems safe. Maybe not, we'll see. But Blue Beetle is
because this, by the way, we forgot to mention these tax incentives, they end in August. So presumably anything else, it would be in their financial best interest to at least just put it on Max.
Just put it on Max. Yeah.
But that being said, I need Beetle to stay theatrical.
And Blue Beetle, they said like that was already in production after this new merger. So it was fine. Batgirl was in production before the merger. That's why it was going to HBO Max, not going to theaters.
I feel like
Blue Beetle. Yeah,
I feel like the only reason we have Black Adam is just because The Rock's persistence. If
definitely.
we didn't have that would have been gone forever.
Oh, 100%. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I'm like Blue Beetle. Luckily, is going to be theatrical, but like. I would argue Batgirl would probably make more money than a Blue Beetle movie. I hate to say it, but just like that's how I see it. But I'm just glad that's coming out at least. Batgirl, the fact that they're canning Batgirl when Marvel had the balls to make an Ant-Man movie, Batgirl was probably more famous than over 50% of the Marvel catalog. I want to say Batgirl is more famous than an Ant-Man, more famous than a Guardians of the Galaxy prior to 2014. Prior to 2014, I mean. But like. People knew who Batgirl was prior to Guardians, Ant-Man, maybe even Black Widow, for example. Like Batgirl was a very famous Bat character just from the name alone. And the fact that they're canning that just makes no sense. And again, it can't go understated. This was a very big win in terms of Batgirl coming out. It was going to be a big win for representation. From behind the camera with Adil Bilal, from Leslie Grace, from transgender actress being the supporting actress in the movie. And the writer Christina Hodson, famous writer for WB.
Not to mention like all the other movies they took off. Like they literally acquired Charm City Kings like from Sundance last year, and then it's just off.
I never got a chance to watch it.
They already buried that. They already buried that movie. They acquired it and then they didn't market it at all. They pulled Netflix. They put it on there. At least let people discover it.
I never got the chance to even watch that movie.
I know. Like I had it in my queue.
I've had it in my queue too. It's a bummer. This whole thing is it's a huge bummer across the board because again, you're canceling art. The main argument here, they're canceling art for business practices. Forget that tax write-off.
And obviously, movies and television are given the exorbitant amount of money in general and resources that they do take to make on a level that we can make them on. It has a relationship to business. It always will. Always has, always will. But at the same time,
a finished product. That's what makes it so baffling.
A finished thing, and it's like
if Batgirl wouldn't have been like
they just do not care. There's no other assertion here than they just do not care.
If Batgirl wouldn't have started filming, I'd have been bummed, extremely bummed. But this has happened the past over a decade now. It's 2022. Ever since leading up to Man of Steel, or I guess it's post Man of Steel, in that 2014 to now era, post Man of Steel, we've had DC projects come and go, count over 100 times come and go.
There was a time where they had like 20 project titles announced at once.
Projects. Remember, is Lobo
Spielberg
DC?
With like wing something or
Spielberg was involved with something maybe.
Actually, I think they're like all on here on like just listed. Let me look this up.
But yeah, Cyborg movie going to happen. Green Lantern's going to happen. Green Lantern now got transitioned to a TV series. Cyborg went to the Titans or whatever. So it's just like all these movies were supposed to happen that either got gutted or turned to series or what have you. Batgirl becoming one of those, I would have been bummed, but I'm like, okay, we'll move on. But Batgirl was finished. The people that did Miss Marvel were going to do it. And Miss Marvel just came out, which makes it even more heartbreaking. Like Miss Marvel came out to critical acclaim. It's still in the 98 Rotten Tomatoes. It's the highest rated Marvel show.
Green Lantern Corps, untitled Deathstroke film, Gotham City Sirens, Justice League Part 2, Nightwing, Joker Harley Quinn movie, Deadshot, New Gods. New Gods is
going to happen. Ava DuVernay, yeah. And again, I was pissed about that, but then it didn't even start, so I was like, okay, we move on. She'll find other projects. But this one, they they finished rolling cameras.
They were in the home stretch.
So now the only, conceivably, that Katana is probably not happening on HBO.
Zatanna.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking
Katana's from
there is a Katana.
Yeah, Zatanna. I'm worried about Zatanna. It's Static Shock, which hasn't.
Who's for the Birds of Prey? The Canary show is just not happening. Probably.
Is Black Canary supposed to be a movie? Or I think it's
supposed to be a show. Or was it supposed to be a movie?
One with Jordan Smollett.
The one with Jordan Smollett, written by the Lovecraft Country. Movie.
Speaking of Hollywood, just craziness. Did we talk about this? We got to talk about this. About the Tomb Raider rights.
Oh, what?
They lost the Tomb Raider rights. I think this is also WB. They lost the Tomb Raider rights, the previous people, because they didn't greenlight the latest movie in time.
It was too late.
So now it's in a bidding war, and that project fell apart. And now the new Warner Bros. Regime is going on a bidding war to bid for the rights that they just lost.
Oh wait, they're back in the war? I didn't know that.
Oh, I don't know. There might have been updates.
Oh. Well,
no,
I thought they just.
That's just all. It's gone. Like, there's not going to be the article said that they're most likely they're making a whole. Whoever gets it is going to reboot it.
It's going to be a reboot because after the lapse, you can't continue it story wise. But yeah, because Alicia said she's not coming back. Alicia's gone. Mm-hmm. Her contract's done.
But I'm like, that is just another.
I don't think it's as Tomb Raider was a semi-successful franchise.
It's kind of funny.
That first movie's on the right track, though. I think
it was. I agree. I was excited because I love Alicia Vikander. I wanted to see her again.
Yeah.
It's a bummer for sure. Yeah.
Evan was saying, and it's like the most like heartbreakingly hilarious thing, that for him to come to realize that like Sony, as garbage as products that they may make, are at least like doing it consistently. And
at least we're getting.
You're telling me you telling me Morbius it didn't have test screenings. You're telling me that
Morbius released twice. Batgirl doesn't get it.
Nobody's asking for El Muerto. Nobody's asking for Madam Web. It looks the cast looks decent. Whatever. But nobody's asking for these Spider-Verse villain movies. But guess what? We're getting them. I might see them, but at least they're going to be released. Nobody's asking for Craven either. But at least we're going to see it. They're giving audiences a chance to fucking see it.
And now this DC slate,
that's terrible.
This DC slate is like, what do we have left? We have Joker 2.
Oh, we have nothing post 2024.
Batman 2.
Yep.
Aquaman
Joker 2, Batman
Flash,
2.
If Flash even comes out.
Aquaman and Shazam. But those are all next year. After 2023, there is no slate. There is no DC movie after 2023.
Wonder Woman 3, presumably, but I don't know.
Wonder Woman's pretty locked in. They're both successful. Wonder Woman, despite the Gal Gadot stuff, my dad loves Gal Gadot. But I'm just like, Wonder Woman, Joker for sure. Those are your linchpins. Aquaman made $1 billion, the highest grossing DC movie. They want to continue Aquaman.
There's no Superman.
There's no
is there no and you had Supergirl and now you don't?
No Supergirl movie, yeah. No Sasha Cal Supergirl movie.
Why do you hate Krypton? You have a show as well.
A World's Finest with Sasha and Leslie. That prints money. That's your Batgirl Supergirl. I swear to
fucking Christ, if Marvel greenlights the fucking
I'm still holding out hope
for Hawkeye show with Haley and fucking Florence. I don't get this.
Because Supergirl, that was from Rolling Stone, right? I'm pretty sure none of the trades said that Supergirl was done, but you never know.
Are you? I'm doubting it now because it's the same thing, right? But again, Supergirl is arguably more famous than other characters, and creative aside, it can make money. I'm just. Like DC is in a state where I'm just like they have no, and I hate the whole plan thing. I don't need a plan. Like Carson talked about.
We just said we were praising them. They're like, this is cool.
We were praising them. We're getting a Joker 2 wild musical. We're getting a Batman 2. We're getting Aquaman, Legend of the Hidden Temple, whatever it's called. It's like,
just do whatever. Just do
whatever.
Just do it. Fucking Nike that shit.
Hire some passionate people. Have them overseen by people that care about movies and make a movie.
And just look at the directors we have for the upcoming DC movies that are actually happening. The guy who's doing Shazam, love the guy. David
Sandberg.
Yeah.
Sandberg.
David Sandberg, James Wan, Matt Reeves.
Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins probably doing Wonder Woman 3. Like, these are great directors. And now we're in a bubble where
now they've become a Destin. It's like you got Lucasfilm, you got
even Andy Muschietti on The Flash. Like
Andy Muschietti is a great director. I didn't like it too, but I don't want to see The Flash now. I'm probably not going to see The Flash.
Give him another movie, someone will.
But yeah, like Andy's got a good career ahead of him. He's a great horror director. But I'm just like,
pretty much everyone who passed through The Flash was like a great choice.
Yeah, this is just ridiculous. Like, there's no DC movie. I mean, similar to Lucasfilm, we have no idea what Lucasfilm is doing either. It's just like, what is happening with these companies? Like,
We got books.
Lucasfilm was like, we have movies now, I guess. Like, Marvel is the only one, and Sony, with some consistency. Universal, of course, too. It's just like, wow. The companies that you would have thought like were on top of it with Lucasfilm and DC,
Right.
like,
Which is funny. It's like,
wow.
what would I rather have? This turmoil where I know within 5 years there will be something great again, or have Sony just churn out the butter,
The movie theater oil.
the movie theater oil where I had to buy a Morbius NFT to like support AMC theaters instead of buying a movie ticket.
Oof.
What is life?
Meanwhile, AMC Theaters CEO is investing in a Nevada gold mine or something. Business just needs to be done. Let's pack it up.
Capitalism. We've had
Stocks. What about them? I'm done.
It's just such a weird
come in
era.
Monopoly, man.
It's such a weird era for DC. It's such a weird thing. Like, yeah, but such a good talent, and they're either going to waste because Aquaman 2 might move again, Shazam 2 might move again.
Why are they moving? Why would they move? I keep seeing that in the articles too. I'm like,
right there.
who started this rumor that they're
They're
moving?
considering it. Both Hollywood Reporter and The Wrap now.
You're telling me they just dropped that trailer last week and they're
Remember,
I wouldn't be surprised with Aquaman though, because there was no presence at Comic-Con, which is just baffling to me that Marvel announced like 58 things and you can't even talk about your second most recent movie that's coming out. DC.
The only life Aquaman 2 is having right now is Momoa's Instagram.
Honestly,
and James Wan editing from home.
Right.
I'm
I love that
curious to see how
picture.
that movie performs because, again, the first one made over $1 billion, most successful DC movie. But next March is, as we talked about, very crowded with Creed, House of the Dragon, Dungeons and Dragons, John Wick. It's gonna be in a more crowded. Granted, 2018 was also very crowded, and Aquaman 2 made a lot. Aquaman made a lot. But this is just
Haunted
very.
Mansion also drops for Disney.
It's gonna flop. But
Scream 6 is also the last week in March.
Scream 6. I can't wait for that one. Samara Weaving coming back. But yeah, it's just Warner Brothers. It's so depressing, mainly because I love HBO Max. I go on it every day to watch, not every day, but every week to watch something. Whether it be Barry, Succession, a couple weeks later it's going to be House of the Dragon. They just have a great catalog. Anime content's very great.
Man,
it's
you know
crazy
what?
to me.
I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's.
I'm looking at Universal's schedule now. I'm like, I'm not gonna stand any studio because, whatever. But we got the Fablemans. Wait, is this a Spielberg project? And then by the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Puss in Boots is a franchise movie. At least it looks like cool with the animation style. It looks like people actually made it.
That's still 2022.
Yeah, Christmas.
Oh.
And then February is going to be awesome. We got Knock at the Cabin, M. Night, and then we got Cocaine Bear, completely original movie.
Speaking of that, real quick, Universal's getting deals with. I forgot they had a deal with M. Night too. They have the M. Night deal.
That's why I knew I was forgetting somebody.
Jordan Peele deal, and now the Daniels.
Yeah, and I forgot about Renfield coming out in April, the vampire movie with Nick Cage, Nicholas Hoult, directed by Chris McKay of Lego Batman, and
I thought he was doing the Nightwing movie, Carson.
Didn't he do Vice?
No,
Adam McKay.
That was Adam McKay.
Are they brothers?
Maybe.
No.
Like the Scott brothers. How one made Alien, the other made Top Gun.
Fast and Furious 10, which is just going to be crazy. So, and then we got Chris Nolan now. We got Oppenheimer in July. So, and they got.
Sorry, randomly. The Oppenheimer official YouTube channel has been having a live stream of the trailer. For,
it's awesome, isn't it?
And it's not only just playing the whole trailer, but it's like the countdown of the clock, updates per minute of the trailer play.
Weird.
It's wild.
But yeah, that was.
Now I'm looking at Warner Brothers theatrical slate for next year. I'm just curious.
It's pretty solid, I think, right? Oh, we'll see.
I mean, yes and no, because it hinged a lot on DC. I mean, we have.
What side are you looking at, by the way?
The numbers.
Okay.
But we got because Salem's Lot just moved. I forgot about that to
Bomb.
April. But Tomb Raider's not coming out. So we have what's the Last Train to New York? Does anyone know what that is?
The train movie.
Oh,
Is
it's
that
James
Train
Wan's
to-
producing it.
Is that the Train to Busan American?
No, they canceled that. Maybe that's canceled. Anyways, then The Flash, then Barbie. Then, but all Warner Brothers has next summer is. Well, I guess they have The Flash, Barbie, The Meg 2, and Blue Beetle.
Meg 2.
Meg 2 is gonna be huge.
Yeah, Meg 2 is gonna be huge.
I love that movie.
But then they have
Still
nothing until Dune Part 2 and Wonka, and that's it.
Hit and miss. But yeah, that's a hit and miss schedule for 2023.
Yeah, especially if
the
Flash
doesn't come out. Like I think that alone is pretty decent because even for Disney, right? Like Disney, they have Marvel, and then a couple Disney stuff. Like I think they have like 10 or so movies.
Let me look.
I could be wrong for 2023.
Who now? Disney?
Yeah, that's true. It is a new reality where it's only going to be.
Yeah, but like for the kicker for the
Well, we have
whole
Indiana
movie-
Jones, and we got
Yes,
Little Mermaid and
1, 2.
Elemental, Pixar movie.
3,
Strange New World?
and then 3 Marvel
Strange
movies.
Worlds?
Strange Worlds
That's this year.
November.
Oh, nice.
I think they have like 2
Blade.
Pixar, 3 Marvel movies. Is it 3 or 4 next year?
Blade, The Marvels, Guardians, and Ant-Man.
Quantumania.
It's 4. So yeah. 4 Marvel, 2 Pixar, 1 original Disney probably, 1 live action Disney.
Yeah, one live action Disney, August 20.
So yeah,
Yeah,
similar.
I'm almost an hour on this topic.
Yeah, but
I'll
it's
do
just
it again.
this is just laughable because again, the need for DC projects to be theatrical experiences is just laughable to me. They don't need to be theatrical experiences. You had a good thing going by making your DC Black label, which is probably non-existent now, of smaller movies with solo characters. I don't really care for a Joker 2, but at least we're getting it into smaller character, smaller budget, alongside a Batman trilogy, alongside an Aquaman 2. Those are things I want from DC. I don't need a plan. I don't need things to be connected. I just want to see my favorite characters I grown to love on the big screen or on the small screen. I don't care. If Black Canary was going to be on the HBO Max, I would prefer it to be on theaters. But if it was a combination of Max, I wouldn't care. At least we're getting it. Same thing with Prey this weekend. I would rather have it theatrical, but I understand why it's on Hulu, and I'm going to enjoy it on Hulu. Because again, at least we're getting it. The fact that everything needs to be theatrical, and for them to determine what the term theatrical even means, which is kind of wrong because you're equating it to budget. It just doesn't make sense to me. They're not putting quality in the equation.
I'll be right back.
They're just making this a whole business decision. And yes, I understand that making movies is a business. It always has been since the birth of movies. But as Patrick Williams said earlier today, I miss it when creatives were caring about business, but also we're just like, let's make a movie that we enjoy. Let's make a movie. It's just like, even I'm not a huge Clint Eastwood fan at all. I don't like the guy, but the old WB regime was like, yeah, we'll make Clint Eastwood make his random movie Cry Macho because we've had a good commitment with that director for a very long time. We appreciate his talent. And we'll let him make his movie for however much it cost. And Cry Macho was only like, what, 30 million? I don't think it made 30 million, but at least he made it because their talent was connected to the studio.
How'd
This
the mule
move,
do?
what?
How'd the mule do?
I think Mule did decent. My parents liked the Mule. I still need to see it actually, but before it leaves HBO Max. What?
91-year-old Clint Eastwood.
I know it's bad, but then Zaslav in that same comment, he said like he probably wouldn't have done that. Like he was questioning that decision to team up with the director for a product that might not make money because it's a business first world, which is just not great. It's a bad practice. And in comparison, we've seen other movie studios have the opposite approach. Whether Disney isn't the greatest studio in the world, it really isn't. But at least they're giving us product via. They're prioritizing Disney Plus, for better or for worse. They're prioritizing Disney Plus for Disney Plus original movies, original series. They're not gutting content from Disney Plus. They want to grow it. They don't want to. WB doesn't want to grow HBO Max.
It's so weird because, like, even from a business standpoint, like, wouldn't you have a lock on like how to distribute budget now? Like, you hear something that's like original, you're not sure if it's going to be like a flagship takeoff. So you're all right, but we're intrigued and we think you're creative based on your work. Here's this set budget. Go ham, and then they do. And if it delivers, great. If not, well, then we prepared for this because we equated it out.
That's the thing. I guess that's not in these kinds of contracts. I'm not sure how it all. That's way above my pay grade. But
like
even
Batgirl, man, like you know it'll do numbers.
Even Alden said like studios talent needs to start having clauses where you guarantee releases prior to getting on board with your movie. It's the same thing with 2021 where directors are like, I guess I have to put a clause that this is definitely going to be released in theaters.
Yeah.
Instead of on streaming.
I remember the whole Scarlett Johansson thing with Black Widow was also Disney Plus, and it was like, hey, wait, but my pay cut comes from the specifically only the theatrical percentage of the box office. That's a whole chunk like I'm possibly losing, and that's fair.
Exactly. Little did we know that problem was minimal compared to this problem where it's not being released at all. At least for Black Widow, that was going to come on Disney Plus. At least for other stuff that would come on streaming. And I can't reiterate this enough. In the era of streaming, to have Zaslav cut off as of today, 70% of creative development and talent from HBO Max, a rising streaming service. Are you kidding me?
A rising? You've been like,
so you're going to cut off theatrical by cutting out Scoob and Batgirl. Or not even theatrical because Batgirl is going to go on HBO Max. But you're cutting off HBO Max content. You're limiting your theatrical content for DC at least. And now you're gutting your streaming service.
Is HBO
what
Max,
do you want?
Is HBO Max not like the top 3 next to Disney Plus and Netflix?
I think it is. I think maybe Amazon Prime in terms of subscriber growth. I think Amazon Prime is obviously above that. But that's only because people have Amazon Prime for packages.
But your HBO, you have so much.
And you have HBO. And let this be known, HBO has a great upcoming content. We have Peacemaker 2 in the pipeline. A couple weeks we got House of the Dragon, Last of Us, Barry's getting started production, Succession, White Lotus season 2. All these great, mostly HBO shows are in successful development right now. HBO Max, Harley Quinn just dropped for HBO Max. Mm-hmm. Young Justice was this year on HBO Max. A lot of animated content was on HBO Max, but it's now on the bubble. A lot of live action content is now on the bubble for HBO Max, which shouldn't be the case. Like, you have a great catalog for your DC projects and for other Warner Bros. Centric like franchises that are now just on the bubble. And if I'm a talent, I wouldn't want to work with a studio that can just axe my movie when it's nearly finished. Or if it's on HBO Max not doing well, they can just take it off HBO Max. So I think this is a big blow for the future in terms of talent wanting to join the company. And I think it's bad currently because talent might be who are with them could just move elsewhere, like we had Nolan do. Denis Villeneuve was doing this, but even he had his issues. I wonder if Denis is going to come back after Dune Part 2. Maybe not. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's just like, it's crazy to me.
It's like a random thought popped in my head.
Yeah.
It's just like, this was like done like without like any knowledgeable, like problematic people attached to the project. I mean,
nope.
But then it like makes you wonder, like, would they do this? I mean, obviously it would be rightfully so for like something coming up, but like, what if there was just like a classic that starred someone who is like actually awful now, but it's like a known classic and they just removed it entirely? That'd be like a big deal.
Exactly.
If Disney just like buried the OG X-Men trilogy and any of like the Bryan Singer films, like obviously awful dude, but like fucking so many people who put their heart and soul into this project, and you're just gonna throw all of them. company. It's like we were also saying, like in terms of like the Flash, like so many people are part of it, like fucking Sasha Calais, Supergirl, and everybody, Keaton, everybody, Andy, everybody making it like is great. It shouldn't be the fault, even though he's the main star. Pull fucking Christopher Plummer, just fucking like I think Alden was saying, like you'll keep your wide shots, close-ups, fucking reshoot there. I know you're using green screen anyway. Just you can do it.
That movie is such a mess. I don't even know what to do with that movie anymore because I want to see Sasha Cow, but I don't want to support the movie, but I also want to support, like you're saying, like Andy Muschietti and everybody like that. But the movie cutting Batgirl just makes me not excited to watch The Flash already because I wasn't already excited to see it in the first place. But yeah, they're keeping a movie like The Flash, which business wise,
and how is
makes
it
more.
like,
yeah.
And how is it like you know, like word of mouth going around that like no more of the Supergirl who would be introduced in that movie, but yet you still have not like touched with the 39.5 foot full any comment on Ezra Miller.
They're not going to comment anything on Ezra Miller. It's just crazy to me because, again, like from a business point, I can see why they want to keep The Flash. It's over $200 million already sunk into it. They definitely need to release it. It's different from like a $70 or $90 million movie. But yeah, just optics wise, it's not looking good. If it goes away, tragic. But I don't want to support Ezra Miller, so it's like whatever. So it's just.
But I want to support everyone else.
I want to support everyone else. So I don't know what to do with that movie.
I mean, well played, fucking Ray Fisher not being attached.
Who got out of there? Yeah.
I think he was like wrongfully axed anyhow.
Yeah, he was wrongfully axed, but yeah, at least
blessing in disguise, I guess.
He's fine doing Rebel Moon on Netflix with Zack Snyder,
right?
Who also got out of there. It's just WB from an optics standpoint, cutting projects that had a lot of representation in it sucks. Finished projects in general was just a bad thing to do. It's just very depressing. Just very, very depressing. They're cutting one of my favorite streaming services, gutting it, and they're canceling movies that are near completion. And it's just a bad look for art in general for WB. It just sucks.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Some positives.
Let's get
Do we have any?
Yeah, let's get to some positives.
The flagship, I'd say.
Yes.
Evan's boy.
My boy, Destin.
Went to bat for on the top 10 listing.
The Russos are back. Nah, I'm kidding.
No. Secret War? No. Yes. Destin?
Destin Daniel Cretton.
Right.
Is directing
the Kang Dynasty for Marvel Studios. They're first in the 2-part within the same year 6-month time frame release of the 2 Avengers films. However, it is said they are also going to be looking for a separate director to do Secret Wars, which I think is like makes a lot of sense because even when the Russos were doing Infinity War Endgame to back, they had a full year gap versus this 6-month crunch.
Yeah,
they had a full year gap, and different titles means they're going to be different tones, different movies completely.
That infamous rap photo after Infinity War of the Russos just passed out on the ground. It's like, all right, halfway.
God,
that's crazy. But yeah, it makes sense because they're different titles, different movies, and like Nathan said, they're in the same year, so it definitely makes even more sense to have a different director on board. But that being said, I'm ecstatic for Destin, and I'm so happy for him to be doing Avengers Kang Dynasty. I love Shang-Chi, top 5 MCU movie easily, top 10. I mean, MCU movie easily for me.
Top 30 easily.
It might be my top 5. I'm not sure. Whatever. It's in the top. It should have been on the list.
How was it not?
Because we included TV shows because of Josh.
Yeah. Moon Knight
in there.
Moon Knight season 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully this means Shang-Chi has a big presence. That post-credit scene already seemed like he was connecting with the Avengers, and the rings might have something to do with the cosmic side of the MCU going forward. That's been set up. Hopefully Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel have a good presence as well because Brie has a great relationship with Destin going all the way back with short term
12, baby.
This is a masterpiece. So Give me my Shang-Chi Captain Marvel team up. I would love that. Shang-Chi and Kamala will be great together as well.
Yeah.
I'm just similar to the conversation we had last time. What does this Avengers team look like by the time we get King Dynasty?
And how do they all come together? Like,
how do we all come together? Yeah.
What's the Civil War going to be in this timeline? Like for the
Well,
the
grab
2.5 movie that's kind of like bring people together.
Are we going to
and
grab
then-
heroes from different points of time? That would be interesting.
possibly. And the more I talk about it, we talked about it a lot on Where Heartbreak Feels Good as well on their episode about the slate. The more I think about it, the more I think the mutants and stuff, while it is being teased in Miss Marvel as early as 2022, I think a lot of the mutant stuff might be after Secret Wars.
My prevailing theory is like the Mutant Project is going to be one of the in-between films of the two Avengers.
Yeah, which also makes sense, but I just feel like handle all your mutant shit after the big Secret Wars event. Then you can focus on
I think it'll
House
be
of M.
I think it'll be
Galactus.
structured as like just set up. It's not going to be
Set
like
up, yeah.
here we are. Like I want to hold on.
Right.
But yeah, but
No,
if you introduce it before Secret Wars, wouldn't you expect them to be in Secret Wars?
Well, my whole like theory, I think I was saying was like set up like some players in a Mutant Project, and then have them like be a part of Secret Wars, and have them coming together in that event be a reason to form the X-Men.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. He's a great director. I love the it was refreshing what he brought to Shang-Chi, and he's also obviously doing a Shang-Chi sequel, so I'll be curious to see where that lands.
Was it he doing the Shang-Chi sequel, Wonder Man?
Wonder Man, yes.
And then also
series.
an original. Yeah, I think he's just producing that, and then also just an original series for Disney Plus. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
So he is booked and busy.
That's what happens when you make great content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic for it. I can't wait for the Shang-Chi 2 sequel announcement at D23. It's going to happen. I'm fairly confident about that.
Yeah.
Where it's going to land, I'm not sure. There's some mystery dates in 2024 or 2025.
Yep.
That I think one of them could be Deadpool 3, actually, especially 2024.
Yeah.
But I can see Shang-Chi 2. I don't know, because, like, would it be prior to King Dynasty or after King Dynasty?
I think so. I think it's going to be prior.
Yeah.
Like, does he do Shang-Chi 2 and King Dynasty back-to-back? Like
Yeah.
Russo's?
Give him some
Is he going to
space.
David, what's the Harry Potter guy?
David Yates?
Is he going to David Yates this shit?
How many
Back-to-back?
projects Yates on now? 7.
Yeah, but look, like, Shang-Chi, King Dynasty is 2026, right? Or 2025?
6. Right?
4.
4.
Let me look at it. It's not 2024.
Not 5. No, too early. 6. 7?
That what?
6.
King Dynasty is 2025.
5.
May 2nd, 2025.
May 2025.
So
That's
Was
not
Shang-Chi-
far away.
that's not far away. So would Shang-Chi 2 have to be right
it
now?
count?
There's a spring 2025, and that's about I don't
All
know.
right. All right, you know what? All right.
I
I think
think Shang-Chi
Shang-Chi's
2
is after.
I think after
After.
King, but I want it right now. I want it now.
You'll get him in the Avengers.
But at least it's gonna be an event.
The Doctor Strange effect.
I can't wait to
He's
see
in
what
everything
he
but-
brings to the.
Am I gonna have to wait that long for Shang-Chi to return?
No, you'll be
The
in
action of
everything.
this of King Dynasty is going to be so interesting with this
Yeah.
sort of director.
Mhm.
Because
Ooh.
Shang-Chi's just got some of the best action in the MCU.
Action, heart. I think he's gonna bring a lot of interesting stuff to
Yeah.
The Avengers King Dynasty, and him working with Jonathan Majors too. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys still think Kang's gonna be the villain in both of them, or are they gonna bring Doctor Doom to be the villain in
I
Secret
don't
Wars?
know.
I feel like it's too early for Doom.
He's gonna be in Fantastic Four though.
I think he'll be. Well, I'm sure he'll be set up in a lot of things. I don't know if he'll be the main antagonist of the first Fantastic Four movie. I feel like they
He
want.
has to be.
They
Nathan.
have to. They have many of foes.
Do they have many a foe?
Galactus,
That's impossible. They're not doing. It.
Silver Surfer.
That's all Phase 7.
Saturday. Well,
I think so.
What a concept!
I'm getting nauseous.
I think Galactus and
You have a child. It's the 100th property
those are
of
big
MCU.
characters, and I hate to be. I'm always
I'm
wrong
gonna
with
be
Marvel.
40 when this shit comes
Thunderbolts
out.
is the 50th MCU project.
Fuck.
But
yeah, I would love for Kang to be the villain of both of them. I can easily see that too. But
yeah,
is he gonna be the villain in Ant-Man, Kang, and Secret Wars? It's like that's a lot of Kang. It's a lot of Kang.
Just in terms of like Doctor Doom, it feels like just too quick of a turnaround to bring him to like the main Secret War antagonist, all in the span of like an introduction in Fantastic Four, presumably, and then like a year gap. It seems too fast.
I don't think so, right? Like Loki was introduced in Thor, and then he was the villain in the Avengers, the first Avengers. Like,
yeah, but he wasn't like the
but think about
biggest
Thanos.
villain, and he went through a redemption arc.
But exactly. Like I can see him having similar to the comics. Doom can be the villain in Secret Wars, and then have his own arcs after Secret Wars. He doesn't have to die in Secret Wars.
Yeah, but like if he's the primary villain, doesn't that reach like a god status?
No, like Loki was a primary villain in Avengers, and he spun off later. Like you can have Kang.
Yeah.
Like I just feel weird for Kang to be in all the MCU projects, and if they're already seeding Doctor Doom, and then you're gonna have him be.
Yeah, but you have to remember there's like so many different Kangs though. Like it's never gonna be.
That's true. That's never gonna be the same Kang. But I just feel like a movie called Kang Dynasty is definitely gonna be all about Kang. All about Kang.
Are we sure?
And then like similar to because I think they might be taking part of the Kang Dynasty run of the all different Avengers, which featured Sam Wilson's Captain America leading that team, versus this whole time arc with Kang. It was the very first run of all new, all different in 2015.
Wait.
And I think like that's all Kang centric. And then Kang gets defeated, and then Dr. Doom's like, now my time to shine.
Hey, wait, hold the phone. When we were talking about this, didn't you say the Secret Wars they were going to adapt was like that old 80s one where it's just battle world shit?
I said the opposite.
No way.
Go roll the tape.
Roll the tape.
What the hell? Nick Carson, you got to be on the team, right? I said they're doing the modern one. They can't do the old. The old one makes no sense.
By the way, I started reading.
I don't care what you read, Carson. Back me up.
What did I start reading?
Back me up.
It's like what's before the newest secret. I think it's called New Avengers. I started reading New Avengers from 2013, 2015.
With when they're walking, that front cover where they're like walking in the black. It's like
yep.
Great run, Jason Aaron, I think.
I think it's it's something Hickman.
Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah.
Right. That's a great run. I think is Wolverine in that one? I'm not sure.
Well, yeah. There's like a lot going on. Like
there's a lot of mutants in that team.
Look, man, Wolverine.
And Thanos is in this now, and like so that's getting tied in. So I'm in the. And now I'm going back and forth between the New Avengers comics, and then I had to read the Infinity comics to get the different point of view from Thanos and the Black Order.
As is.
as you have to do.
And now then there's like this Black Swan chick who's like just showed up, and there's like worlds colliding onto each other. And
Yes.
Oh,
they have to sacrifice. I don't want to say anything. But yeah.
The incursion.
The incursions. Exactly. But Nathan, again, the old 80s Secret Wars was dumb because it's just like, hey, here's a villain, come to Battle World, fight, and I'll watch. And it was a marketing ploy. This it really was. In the 80s, it was the first major crossover.
Yeah.
It was a marketing thing. Let's get these characters to just fight each other
together. Yeah.
But the 2015 Secret Wars was mostly, or whatever it was mostly Doctor Doom. It was a more complex, emotional story with Reed Richards in it as well, which is, I think, what Kevin Feige is trying to tee up here.
And you want that to be the crux after only like a 2-year intro on them?
I mean, yes, there's plenty of time.
Wait,
dude, if I pitched this shit on any other project,
wait, aren't they also coming out in 2025 or 2024?
Fantastic Four is November.
2024.
November 2024.
And then what? The next year?
And then May 2nd, 6 months later, is Avengers Kang Dynasty. Not with them. And then a year later, November 7th, 2025. So a year after Fantastic Four.
Doctor Doom. And you're suggesting pulling a Loki via Thor and the Avengers. Oh, with Doom, I don't see it.
How do you not see it? Wait, okay, so the thing is, Kang is just gonna be the villain. He's gonna win in Kang Dynasty. It's gonna be his dynasty, and then Kang,
is he gonna win? I don't know. Maybe.
And then Kang,
what is this movie even about? Who fucking knows?
And then Kang's gonna be the villain again. In
What is Kang's goal?
Secret Wars. Kang has never been a part of Secret Wars. Granted, Marvel can change everything they want, but I just think you bring in the Fantastic Four for Secret Wars. Fantastic Four is going to bring over Doctor Doom. We take the city and move it somewhere else.
So, somehow I feel like Galactus is more like believable coming than.
How is Galactus more believable?
Because we have fucking like Airship and shit
You're
and
right,
Eternals.
You're right.
Don't you dare.
You're right.
There's the fucking Pacific.
Okay. You're right. Galactus isn't as crazy as I once thought, but like,
Galactus a fucking celestial head in goddamn
Galactus is eating worlds.
Yeah,
that's not happening in Fantastic Four. They're gonna go grounded as shit for that movie.
Grounded?
Or not grounded, but
we're skipping an origin.
That's one of the other show notes.
I know.
But let's blend it in here while we're talking about it. Feige said Fantastic Four is not going to be an origin story. Spoiler alert. We all kind of knew that already, but just like
I didn't.
It's kind of I would expect it to.
I mean,
be.
it's easy because it's just space.
Because Feige loves doing that. They're like whenever Feige brings in characters, he doesn't do origin story. Spider-Man, not an origin story. Black Panther, not an origin story. Whenever he brings in characters, who do I don't want to ask. I don't want to answer that.
John Krasinski.
That's no.
I
can say who it's not going to be. John Krasinski. He's not your Reed Richards.
Oh.
He's not. Stop it. Choke on your water. Choke on your aspirations.
Choke on your aspirations.
It's not going to be Emily Blunt.
Emma Blunt.
I love Emily Stone.
I don't know. I think they will be cast if it's coming out November 2024. It has to start filming by next year, so it's going to be cast late this year. I think. I wouldn't be surprised if it's cast in D23. Honestly.
Yeah.
I want a director first.
Me too.
Leslie Gray says Sue Storm.
I'm down.
How young do you think we're going to go for the cast? By the way,
it doesn't matter. How old does Reed be?
No, but like for example, like Captain Marvel, Brie Larson's like in her 30s.
Right. Like
most of the people they cast are in their 30s.
What is Carol Danvers' canonical age right now? Because we followed her in the 90s.
She's still.
She gotta be in her does cosmic energy slow your aging? So
it does.
We're like 50.
Yeah.
She gotta be 50 in our present time.
I think they already talked about that, like how it slows your aging process. That's why she looks the same. But I think it's not. No, wrong. Who's
fucking?
Sorry. Who's Elizabeth Lally? Rudy Pickno, Johnny, and Jason Segel as a thing. Oh,
I do like the Jason Segel.
The Jason Segel thing looks decent. I'm not the biggest fan of him.
I think it's primarily and nothing gets that because I love Jason Segel, but they want to have a Jewish actor to play Ben Grimm because he is Jewish.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Evan, you were gonna cancel our podcast.
Sorry. Elizabeth Lally. Let me see who that is. She's cute. What's she been in? Oh, she was in You, Gossip Girl.
Okay.
Oh.
She's 30. Like we just talked about, she's 30. She's in her 30s. Oh, wait. She was in Once Upon a Time. I love that show.
In Hollywood?
Please walk away.
No.
Wait, I can't see what's
I'm
going
bound
on.
by my headphones.
Yeah, I remember her kind of. She looks like a solid Sue Storm. She's blonde at least, but like, I don't know. I'm fine with whatever they do besides John Krasinski. Don't do John Krasinski.
I think it hasn't been confirmed since that he just did it because it was for Doctor Strange because it was a fun idea to do it just because it was a fan casting and he was gonna die anyways and obviously and whatever.
It hasn't been confirmed, but
I swear Feige said it in an interview. I can.
But you're right. What you just said is right, but it just hasn't been confirmed that it's a one and done.
but I cheered.
Right.
He did say like, yeah, I think Sam Raimi was like, if I gave the fans a bone kind of thing. Where,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't remember the exact quote.
But I mean that's true, but it doesn't mean that he can continue.
Age of the Mandalorian. I just figured this was the new practice.
But yeah, I'm excited to see Fantastic Four. I mean, I love those characters. And when I say grounded, I just mean I think Feige is going to go classic with the movie.
It'd be cool.
We shall see.
Oh, I don't like Esposito as X. I like him as
Magneto.
Magneto,
That'd
but
be
he's
great.
not Jewish, so
Oh, now you care.
that one seems a little bit more important. His backstory is about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
You can't erase that.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm fine with the X-Men being like, I like what the oh shoot, what's his name? Nathan, what's the OG Spider-Man comic writer? No, the one from
John Romita Jr. Or
no,
Senior.
Stanley.
no, the one from the '90s, not the OG one. Sorry, the
It's
'90s.
not Steve Ditko.
The
Was it not John Romita?
no, it
Junior
starts
or
with
senior?
starts with a B. No, the one in a different universe. That's Spider-Man.
Oh, you're Ben Reilly. You meant the actual Spider-Man. I thought you said writer.
No, I meant writer. I can't think of his name. Like the guy who the comic where Spider-Man died and Miles Morales was created. That writer.
Oh, and Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate. That's what I was saying. Ultimate. Who wrote that one? Because he wrote the X-Men coming into the modern Marvel 616 universe, but they were like out of time. Ultimate Spider-Man.
X-Men out of time. Very cool.
What's his name? Ultimate. Not the TV series.
Days of Future Past is the most banger title of anything.
Yeah.
There we go. Brian fucking Michael Bendis. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Sorry.
your boy.
My boy. The best comic writer of all time. Brian Michael Bendis, he
Did
made
some Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he has.
Maybe.
But he wrote the X-Men comics where they were in their classic time, but they come to the modern 616 universe. That's where you got your young Jean Grey, your young Scott, your young cast of characters, but they were in the modern. It was a way for the Marvel publishing to get the X-Men back in our current timeline, kind of thing. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do for.
Marvel does it so much.
I think they're going to do that for the because you have to. You can't. Magneto has to be an out of time character because he's sculpted by the Holocaust. So I wouldn't mind if he's out of time, which is why I think post Secret Wars, where you have multiple incursions and worlds colliding, the X-Men comes out of time and just like, where are we now in a post Secret Wars world?
I heard that for like a cool theory for the Fantastic Four and like one of Reed's experiments, probably the very one that gave them their powers in space. Maybe they shoot through a wormhole and then end up on the other side, but it's our present day.
That would work for me too.
Because like stardom in the 60s and now bam.
That would work for me too. Yeah, where you don't have to show their origin, but you can just show a mission gone wrong, and bam, you're in the MCU. Yeah, going back to the conversation, who do you think can be the main villain of Secret Wars? You think it's just going to be Kang? Just Kang?
I mean, it could be just like dealing with the after effects of multiple Kangs fucking up the timelines. It's a multiversal war, isn't it? So that kind of stemmed from Kang himself.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, we could potentially like defeat Kang at the end of Kang Dynasty, and now we just gotta like find a way to fix it.
We still have to fight somebody.
Reality itself. There is no one to punch. It's no easy answer. There's no easy way out. Not everyone's making out of this alive. This goes all the way to the top.
To who? There's no top left. What do you get when there's no ceiling, Tony?
The one above all. Marvel's God.
Oh gosh.
It's Kevin Feige's bald head. No.
Oh no.
Shea Beck himself.
So we shall see it.
Look, man, all I want is, God, I know we left Venom in the bar, but fucking I want Venom from the goddamn planet, Venom. And I want Reed Richards to analyze it for Spidey. All I fucking want. All right.
Incredible.
That's great.
We have the technology.
We can rebuild him.
Because if you already took Tom Hardy out of the equation, why did you even need...
They literally brought him in there to bring...
Venom
a symbiote to the MCU. Just a symbiote to the MCU. All of that just to bring a black goo to the MCU. Congratulations.
Which to that point, are we gonna have the fucking like?
Well, where do you think Spider-Man 4 is going to be? 2025?
Maybe. I mean, does Marvel, when they announce them, ever actually have that on their official slots, or is it?
I don't
think so.
I don't think so, but they don't. For example, Marvel does July movies. Spider-Man is usually in July. They wouldn't announce a July movie if they knew Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man whatever is going to be there, right? So,
I imagine we're probably gonna get like Spidey like more street level prior to the Avengers crossover, and probably some Daredevil. So maybe he'll pop up in the series. I don't know because he still has
I would love that.
these Quage. Yeah, it's just like anything's possible right now.
Anything is possible. Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm surprised how excited I am for the future of Marvel when I used to be just so like tired of the MCU. I was very tired, but then I saw Shang-Chi too, or Shang-Chi, and I'm like, I'm rejuvenated again. And then I saw the slate, and I'm like, I'm rejuvenated again. I used to not like slates, but I'm like, oh, this slate actually helped my excitement for the future.
Drop brain, baby.
I wish Lucasfilm would tell me what
Quantum
the fuck
virus.
I wish Lucasfilm would tell me what I'm waiting for these days. I have no idea what's happening for
Star Wars. There's a plan I need.
That's a plan I really need. I do. Just tell me what's happening. Just tell me. I honestly think they're not going to announce anything movie related at D23 for Star Wars. It's going to be all TV shows again.
Here comes Taika.
Here's Taika. Oh, gosh. I finished the script.
Maybe.
We're having fun. It's called Star Wars.
Star Wars.
It's just Star Wars.
Love and hip-hop.
Hip-hop?
Love it. Hip-hop.
In Star Wars?
Yes.
It's a movie about DJ Rex.
Yes. Hell yes.
How's he not been in a movie? I know, like, technically Mandalorian, but... never mind. Answer my question. I yield my time.
Nick Fury doing a Star Wars movie. I would love that. But yeah, I'll never know for Star Wars.
What else we got?
Other news. Creed 3 was officially delayed. We kind of talked about that. It's coming out March now. Same day as Dungeons and Dragons.
Jonathan Majors.
What do you guys think makes more money there?
Oh, Jonathan Majors will have Quantumania and Creed 3 within a couple months.
Yeah. Good point.
And this Devotion movie or whatever, Top Gun. It looks like Top Gun because Glenn Powell's in it.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
That comes out November or whatever.
What do you guys think makes more money though, opening weekend? Creed 3 or Dungeons and Dragons?
I think
Creed
3
narrowly does it just from having two previous movies.
I think Dungeons and Dragons is going to be a hell of a good time, but I feel like it has a similar aesthetic to not great performing films of its genre.
Yeah, and that fantasy
Gotta
genre.
reinvent the wheel, baby.
How much did King Arthur make? Whatever that was called.
I was thinking like, what was it? Fucking Monster Hunter or something?
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
That's why you just watched Love and Monsters. Great movie.
You said White Monsters?
Love and Monsters.
Oh,
our favorite movie.
White Monsters? Did you mean insert period piece?
Love and Monsters is fun. I wish I saw that in the theater.
I do too.
But at least it came out.
At least it was released.
Everybody go support E.T. next week, re-release.
I'm a good fan.
IMAX. That moon.
The Jangler.
Oh, a Jangler and IMAX, baby. I'm trying to make key noises.
The key noises.
What? Crunchy ass keys. They're rusty as hell.
Wow.
This is why you get. This is what you get, Nathan. My voice acting talents.
Oh,
thank God.
Scratch tracks.
Time Blazer's been shelved.
ADR dubs.
Oh no.
I've been shelving it for 10 years. Damn it, I'm no more.
Other news. Ben Affleck is in Aquaman 2.
We sort of talked about that.
Yeah.
Because
poor guy. I just hope he's getting. He likes it.
I think he's having fun this time. He just comes in for like 5 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
Just connectivity.
Oh, this is easy. I put on the suit I always wear anyway. And...
just go back to J-Lo's yacht after whatever.
Taking a nap.
God, that's life.
What a life.
What a life.
How was on Daramas a side mission? God
Side mission.
Wow. This guy.
He did.
That's like,
Am I wrong?
if they ever like saw each other in public, that'd be like you'd just be like, no one you think that you could ever like date again that would like ever top that. And then he just goes back to J-Lo, and it's like, you can't beat J-Lo, dude. Like, come on.
Wow. Nope. Oh, this is interesting. The Drago spinoff is in the works, and Sly
It was denounced.
is not happy.
Did y'all hear about all this? Like,
Yeah.
that originally he sold the scripts and the rights to the producers way back when
Yeah.
to make the first Rocky, and then like, so obviously he's made like residuals and stuff, and he's been paid handsomely for every sequel and whatever.
He's been involved creatively.
However, you know, there's probably gonna be Creed 3 is the first movie without him in it.
Oh.
And furthermore, when he passes, obviously
He died,
wants.
Nathan.
No.
Furthermore, there's obviously going to be more Creed, because it's Hollywood. There'll be more Creed movies and boxing movies or whatever they call it when he's passed away. And it's like he wants his kids to have that money, even though they're ridiculously rich already. But so he's just pissed because he's like, I want ownership stake in the franchise versus just whatever. I don't know. It's this whole
I
thing.
thought it was more so like the Drago thing. They made it behind his back. Like it's not.
Yeah, that too. That's why he's also extra pissed.
Yeah, like I think they made it in secret. He's upset with
He never wanted like
who plays Drago again? What's his name?
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren. Like he didn't tell him about this. He was kind of surprised by it, and he wrote the first Creed, I think. And then he was creatively involved in Creed 2. I don't think he wrote that one, but he was involved. And then Creed 3, yeah, like Carson said, this is directed by Michael B. Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be from a new writing talent. He's not going to be involved. I think he's fine, though, with Creed 3. This whole Drago thing, though, is just like, it's a different character, not in his, like, because Creed's part of the Rocky legacy.
Yeah.
Drago is taking it a step farther, where it's just like an unrelated character. They're doing a spinoff in his franchise, Sly's franchise.
Right. Yeah.
And he has no say in whatsoever. And
Yeah.
it's
No
just,
wonder he gets defensive.
this is his baby. Yeah. So not great. It's like making a new Fast and Furious movie behind Vin's back. It's like, whoa, what's going on? It's
Right.
Like, that's effed up.
That's not family.
Yeah. I mean, it's like making a new Fast and Furious movie with The Rock and Kevin Hart in it. Like, who does that? Right?
Did he make a cameo? He did make a cameo, didn't he?
Yeah,
That
he's on the
was
plane.
ridiculous, on the plane. Yeah.
He's the air marshal. He has another scene later.
It's so
That
bad.
was so bad.
Ryan Reynolds is in it. I don't know why.
Oh man,
Is that Red Notice Prelude?
he's playing the same character from Red Notice. Yeah,
Is he?
similar. They keep they're both
and
spies.
Adam
And
Project.
Adam
Okay,
Project,
well,
yeah,
that character was
everybody.
also basically
Yeah.
Deadpool, so like, I mean,
Yeah, he's playing the same character for the whole life.
he's playing Ryan Reynolds.
He's playing Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. So yeah, I feel bad for Sly because it just looks like corporate and other people want the franchise,
Yeah.
and Sly is not involved.
I bet they'll settle so it doesn't have to go to court. But I did read an interesting thing in a newsletter that I'm subscribed to, that, you know, with the whole copyright thing,
Yeah.
that technically the rights for the first Rocky script could be up 2036 or something. So, and you can take back the copyright. You know, I don't know. This is whole thing where it's like,
Oh.
you can take back the copyright. I don't really know what it means, but it's like a lawyer was looking into it, and, you know, potentially like his estate could like go after it. I don't know.
Wow.
I doubt it will ever get to that, but it'll be interesting.
Interesting.
Because we're gonna get Creed movies forever. I don't know.
I don't think forever. I think
Maybe
Creed
not.
3 might be the end. I could see it being a good ending for him.
Yeah.
I thought Creed 2 was a good ending.
Yeah.
Cathreed.
Creed. Nice.
Oh, that one I can stay for.
Yes.
Ah.
Besides that, I think that's about it. Mortal Kombat 2 was a go,
Yes.
but that's Warner Brothers, so you never know anymore.
Oh, God.
That's about it. That's all I had, really.
That was the biggest movie on HBO Max too. That is so funny.
That's so funny. Yeah.
I'm a husk of a
Biggest
man.
opening weekend on HBO Max was Mortal Kombat.
Are we actually gonna get the tournament this time? Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
well, that was
we
the
better.
point, right? That was the set.
This is
Setup.
all set up. Hey, set up movie. Stop it,
Setup.
Hollywood.
Except for Battle World.
No.
Dun, dun.
So yeah, before we leave though, we haven't talked about Nope yet. Do you have any
Ooh.
quick thoughts on Nope?
Nope.
It was.
All right.
Jordan Peele's
We
third
just got to
movie.
look at Logan Paul's wonderful thread to get all.
Oh, boy.
original.
You brought him up. You had to bring him up.
I love how many people quoted him. It was like, yeah, because it's about you, idiot.
Yeah, God, he's totally the biker on the TMZ biker guy at the end. This movie is arrestingly good. Like it is. I was locked in. I was locked in from start to finish, and it's got like the tension, the humor, the scale that we've never seen from a Peele movie before. Just because he's working with Hoyt Van Hoytema and a bigger budget and giant action scenes.
Continuously leaving me guessing.
Yeah, like, and I love. It's just such an interesting. Like everything is so purposeful, and he's every scene. I'm like, damn, there's so much to unpack here, beyond just the plot level, you know.
Everything you thought was like a supernatural thing in the trailer
is not like the damn kids, dude.
Thought.
The kids in the mask freaked me out.
Yeah, let's do full spoilers review because I want to talk about certain sequences for this.
Let me just say, like, that scene, even like, because I've seen it twice now.
Oh, great.
I saw it again when I revisited home. Had the old stomping grounds.
Both IMAX or what?
Yes. Cool. Had to do it to him. And I know how the scene goes. I know it ends up just being the kids in costumes, but god damn it. It's so well done. It's so freaky, and it is so amusing because like my sister was next to me. I went with her, and she was like look over like, huh.
Dude, the sprinkler noises are so creepy too. Like on that light switch, it's like.
Oh god.
The sound designs.
The score of this movie. I was talking to Nathan.
Oh, it rips.
I'm like, this score better be nominated for best score of the year. It is insanely good. It is tense, terrifying.
Yeah, when we finally get those shots of like.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, the big
the
reveal.
House.
This UFO
is
an alien.
That's such
wow.
How the fuck would I have never thought of that?
It's such a simple flip on the head, but I'm like, no, I'm like that's genius.
Pure genius.
And it's like territorial and just and I love Steven Yeun's character about how he, after everything he's been through, he's still absorbing this through a spectacle to monetize for his business and for his thing, and he can't escape this sort of thing, and it ends up obviously
maybe if like we've had a better way to please the predator, but you can't tame it.
Yeah, no, like. And
he was traumatized by his experience, and then he's using like what traumatized him as like the new spectacle.
Yeah,
in a sense, like the horse that he kept feeding to the alien became like Gordy in a sense.
It's so fun to watch on rewatch when you know everything, because like that first thing you're like, I want to lay some groundwork to buy the horse back. He's like, okay, yeah.
Like
he has zero incentive to do that.
Yeah.
And I've seen some stuff too of like, oh, like the characters aren't that deep, but I mean, they really do have a lot going for them.
Oh, I disagree completely with that. Yeah, the dynamic between the family is so tight.
I love how Kalia's character is, you know, sort of that sheltered, emulated thing of his dad, essentially. You know what I mean? And then his sister is kind of grown out of the family almost, and but at the same time.
Yeah,
they both conclude that they need to get like this will save the family in some way. You know, what are we gonna do? Get it on camera and sell it and whatever, because we got nothing left really.
She was so great because she's so free spirited and she's like unshackled by like what her father kind of put through the family, unlike Dan Kalia's character. But at the same time, as they go with the whole jean jacket flashback, like she always wanted to be like training with Dan Kalia with her brother that she never got the chance to do,
and how they're just just how they're treated in Hollywood too. Like we get that whole scene is obviously very, very depicted of probably some of Jordan Peele's probably experiences of trying to pitch movies and different things. Just kind of disregarded. You know, bring on the green screen horse. We don't need you. Like, so there's that whole angle to it, and I love that. I love the tech shop guy. He is fantastic in this movie.
Oh, he was hilarious.
Angel,
yeah.
Angel, and also the cinematographer guy is
with
so
his IMAX camera.
so funny.
Great voice too, man.
Oh my god, he finally is in after seeing like on the news or whatever about the disappearances and the thing, and he's sitting on the hood of his car. He's like, that cloud hasn't moved an inch. I started
so good.
Goddamn inch.
And his ending is awesome. Like it's like tragic,
he keeps
but like
absorbing the spectacle, just like
the
TMZ guy. It's like, don't save me, like save the camera, take a picture.
Dude, that's why the final shot is so perfect too. It's like they got it, but it's quite literally, but at what cost? Like
at what cost? And also the media is now moving in.
Yeah, they're already. I saw.
There's a corpse over there.
Right, like
of the alien.
But yeah, the last two scenes with her and her brother just looking at each other.
Yeah,
beautiful. One of the great endings of the year.
Akira bike.
Yeah, that was amazing. I loved it. Me and my brother were like, "Yeah, Akira."
Dude,
and the whole
we talked about
sequence with the blood
my god, incredible!
Wow, that was a stellar shot.
I need the behind the scenes of that because I don't know. Like some of those shots in there, I'm like, I don't know how they pulled this off. Like, because it's it's like crazy.
The rain sequence. That is also the outpour of blood on the house.
Yep.
Is wild. But then also like the way it's going when they realize there's like a gap between like their home and the actual rainfall and of just nothing because it's overhead. It's blocking the actual rain.
It's crazy. In the sequence when the people are inside the alien, like they're getting swallowed up. Terrifying.
I was so unset. Like, and I didn't like notice what it was at first.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Upon second viewing, when like
you see the shot of all of them getting funneled up in there, dude.
No, I got that, but then like when because she was getting sucked up, and I didn't know what was above her at first. But then the second time, I realized it's a decayed horse skull.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
that's what it is.
Yeah, because remember it ate the horses.
Oh my god! Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just like its beak or something inside of the alien.
I thought it was it was creepy like alien thing too, but no, it's like it's like muscly horse, skinless.
Ew. Oh, that's terrifying. That's probably people say the Gordy sequence is the most terrifying scene of the year. I think that sequence is the most. Dude,
the jump scare when the horse thing, the toy horse comes flying into the windshield, scared the shit out of me.
God, dude, I mean, again, we should move up, but like just the when they were stuck, it's so awful because like not only their screams, but like they're also just like gagging because the smells presumably. And, it's the worst. Dead children.
And then
went up
when it's flying around, you hear the screams coming and going. It's just
it's like after that scene when Kaluuya comes back for Lucky, I think it was the horse who stood in the box. And he's like trying to call it up, and you just see it going above the clouds in different ways. You're just like fuck, and then it just zooms right up to him.
Yeah. He's so smart too. I love his character a lot because he's very smart. Like, don't look at it in the eyes. But he's still very like genuine. Like he wanted to save the TMZ guy, and he nearly sacrifices himself for his sister too. So, man, I felt like the characters are very relatable, very strong in this movie. The messages behind it was very like easily accessible and deep. It was just a beautiful movie. This is definitely a top 6 movie for me.
It's currently is my number 1 of the year.
Nice.
It's such a fun monster movie. Just
even without the whole deep meaning behind it, it's very fun and just great to see with the crowd.
Oh god, with the crowd was so fun. Just everyone on their edge, just trying to guess. But also,
I still think the loudest Jordan Peele crowd I had was Us.
Which scene?
Just whenever the Red family shows up,
That home invasion is still one of the most
is when everyone's
unsettling.
like, no.
When they're all like standing in the driveway and then they just they split up.
And he's like, oh, hell no.
Oh.
No. Yeah, and he goes back in and you're like, oh my god. And then just...
I hate it. I'm terrified. I can't wait to watch us commentary.
This is the commentary trilogy we gotta do.
Yeah.
Lupita is so fucking good in that movie.
Oh god. Talk about a great twist in that movie too.
God, what is Peele gonna do next, man?
Whatever the hell he wants. We were talking about that in the last podcast. He could do like a romance horror. That'd be fun. Like a Dracula type of thing. Like
that's what I was wondering. Was
the
like,
opera.
What is the next monster?
Because he's done some different genres each time a little bit. Like they're all horror, but they're all different types of horror.
Yeah.
Like this is like obviously like alien invasion. You get your home invasion kind of thing, or clones or whatever. Man, yeah, I would love like a romance kind of horror thing, but I'm not. Anything he does, I will watch. He's great.
Give him the Loch Ness monster,
please. Just don't let him near DC. He doesn't. Don't go there.
I don't think he wants to.
Yeah.
What?
But yeah, this was fun. Glad to be back doing my cup of tea with you guys. It's been forever. First time in forever.
First time in. Nope.
Disney's gonna email Nathan.
Our Comic Con episode, we did get copyright claimed.
How dare they?
By
what
Shazam.
Shazam! Of all the.
It was.
Wow.
I think it was the music mix track, and WB's oversensitive.
The Eminem stuff. Fuck. Yeah, I got to us.
We're fine with Marvel.
Slim Shady.
Please stand up.
Slim Shady.
But yeah, man, that was 77 episodes. Not the year.
Star Wars?
Yeah, back in 1977 when we were kicking it.
Watching Close Encounters, nothing else. But yeah, so Friday is the opening day of Prey, the Predator prequel.
Super prequel, honestly. It's just way in the past.
Yeah. We're gonna be commentating that. I figured it'd just be best to just wait to do Alien 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because again, like it's also week of, and we want to like watch it ASAP, and for the first time with you guys. So that's gonna be great. But that being said, I'm on the wrong tab. Here we go. And we're gonna find you.
Yeah, you got to stop playing Spider-Man there to press some buttons. Glad to be back. The Andor trailer was great. Can't wait to watch that next month, and we'll talk about every single episode. Next month.
I think about the trailer. Watch the trailer live next month.
What else? Oh yeah, this Friday we're doing Prey. I'm excited for that. Heard great reviews, like a 97, 96 on Tomatoes right now. Saturday I'll be doing top 10 movies of 2021 on Where Heartbreak Feels Good. I think my top 10 of 2021 is pretty much the same. I might have moved a little bit, certain movies here and there. But besides that, watching Big Brother on at Harris TV9.
And Made in Abyss.
And Made in Abyss. Season 2 is a great. Anime this season is beautiful. It's a great summer season for anime. And this fall is going to be even better and stacked. I'm excited. Fall anime season is only 5 weeks away. So that's exciting.
Gosh.
So yeah.
Yeah, find me on Twitter at the Film Carson and
Congrats on your title.
Oh no, where'd it go? God,
he used
so
a different
tired.
StreamYard. I know.
So
what you
tired.
Did.
Gosh, I forgot what I was gonna say. I was thinking about Made in Abyss. Evan, I finally watched the movie on vacation. Pain.
Oh wow!
Pain, dude.
Pain, right? Oh, my God. Dude, tears in the rain.
And I watched the first episode of season 2, so I'm getting there. I think episode 6 or 5 came out today. I don't know because today's Wednesday.
5 or 6, yeah.
So getting through that, and what else? Yeah, just going back to work tomorrow. Not looking forward to it, but back to the grind. But we will be here on Friday watching Prey and I'm excited to continue our Alien watch. And what are we doing after Alien and Predators?
Taking a break.
I had suggested Pirates of the Caribbean, but
Swashbuckling, I remember that.
Swashbuckling.
In a swashbuckling mood. My friend unexpectedly introduced me to Jujutsu Kaisen.
Hell yes, it's on my list.
I've been having that up ever since 2021.
Yeah, he was like, if you want to see the sickest animation you've ever seen, and I was like, oh really? Oh really? I was like, oh no.
That first episode really pulls you in.
It does, just the way it starts.
Great. The action is incredible. Yeah.
It's like, I want to be in a cult club.
What are we, some kind of fight club? I don't know. I haven't seen the first episode.
It's great. Season 2 comes out next year. The movie's also really good, Nathan.
He eats the finger. That was my friend's original pitch. Is just like, he eats a finger. I'm gonna leave it there.
Oh, I gotta watch. Oh. I gotta watch the My Hero movie from 2021 because I'm all caught up in My Hero now.
Oh wow, that was last year, yeah.
Yeah, so that's post season 5.
It's my favorite My Hero movie.
Oh, out of the 3?
There's been 3, and I think this is my favorite.
Oh, I started this anime that Jalen was tweeting about.
Oh, what's it about?
Oh,
it's called Kami Can't Communicate.
Oh, he loves that one. Yeah.
I started watching it. I was like, fuck, this is fun. It's lighthearted and just like, it's pretty simple and it's nice.
It's a good rom-com, yeah.
Yeah.
New comfort show for Nathan.
And I'm like watching the animation. I'm just like, this is both fluent and I can cut corners. It's the perfect balance.
Take notes.
I'm just like, I can make it. I got 4 months. I got it. I'm still writing scenes. Yeah, man, it's fun. Fall Time Blazer. It's happening. All of us and more. Is Preston still on? I hope so. Public call out. What the fuck?
Oh no. End the stream.
He's never on the Twitter anymore. But yeah, if you guys enjoy our podcast, make sure you hit like button, subscribe, and already come back for more stuff with just all film, Hyperspace hype for all Star Wars. Again, Andor's coming up. Bad Batch, so much Star Wars. And our main commentaries. Pray this week. That being said, catch you guys next time. Have a great day.